And good morning, welcome to the Mountain Morning Show. It's Wednesday. We're talking all about wellness on this Wednesday. It's a little rainy outside. Good way though is to get indoors and do some working out, but you also have to focus on your nutrition when you're trying to get in shape. That is one of the biggest things you have to focus on. We have Gina Van Leuven in studio with me, and she owns YOUnique Nutrition, and it's a great way to get your mind, your body, everything really intact and healthy. How you doing, Gina?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. So let's talk about first what YOUnique Nutrition is.
Well, essentially I do health and nutrition counseling. So YOUnique Nutrition is a website that has a lot of tools, tips, things like that in the health and wellness industry. But I personally do counseling for people who want to get healthier, live healthier, happier lives.
Gina, when we talk about nutrition, I think a lot of times people often confuse it with you just have to go work out a ton, and then you can eat what you want. You know, sometimes people counteract it, but I'd say, I mean, wouldn't you say 80% probably goes to what you eat?
Yes, it does. You know, it's funny because people think health is diet and exercise, right? But there's really a lot more that go into health. There's, you know, your relationships, your career, your spirituality, your self-esteem. All of these things play a part in your overall health and well-being. So diet is extremely important. If you have a great life, but you eat, you know, fast food all the time, or you know, junk food, then obviously your body can deteriorate. But the same holds true if you have a perfect diet, what we would consider a perfect diet all of the time, but you have, you know, you're in a bad relationship, or you have a, you don't like your job, you know, you're really stressed out.
Stress.
Right, that can deteriorate your health as well. So it's really looking at the big picture.
The overall picture. So when you've actually got one of the dishes that you can make, when people come to you for this, are they just going to the website, or are they actually getting specific counsel from you for each individual on their life, their status, what's going on with them?
Well, everyone's different. Some people like self-help. They want to go to the website, get some tips and information and kind of do it on their own. But a lot of people really need guidance. It's just like having a personal trainer when you go to the gym. Yes, you can go work out on your own, but you get so much more when you have a personal trainer, someone there to kind of, you know, make sure you're standing properly and that you're doing the weights properly, etc. And that's kind of what I do with a personal health, as a personal health coach. So it's slowly introducing things to people that they may not normally be comfortable with, so that it becomes comfortable, and then kind of crowding out the things that are not so good for them.
And maybe one tip that they can start small with is eating healthy. So if you've actually brought in a dish that you make that could be a good way to start, get yourself feeling good, and really start from the inside. Yes,
and this particular dish is called quinoa salad. It looks like quinoa when you look at it on the box. It's not phonetically correct, but it's pronounced quinoa.
And you said there's a red and a gold. I've had quinoa before, but I didn't know that.
There are actually many different varieties, but here in the U.S. there's typically only the red, and I call it the gold, but it's a white, you know, a light colored grain. And this is made with the red grain. And you know, it's personal preference. Some people prefer the gold, some people prefer the red.
Can you really taste the difference?
Yes, you absolutely can taste the difference. I actually prefer the red.
What's the red taste more like as opposed to the white or the gold?
It's a little richer flavor for me, which maybe that's what turns some people off with it. But as I was mentioning to you before we went on the air, I actually put a vegetable bouillon cube with this one that helped add some flavor. And there's no preservatives or any of the junk, as I would call it, in this particular bouillon, which is why I really like it. But then I pack this full of whatever vegetables I had in the refrigerator. In my book, I have a recipe that calls out specific vegetables, but this is one of those things that, you know, whatever you have left over in your refrigerator, vegetable-wise, you chop it or grate it up and throw it in there.
And quinoa definitely does have a very distinct flavor, so maybe depending on if they like the red or the white, it's to each his own, right? Your preference.
Right, and I always say try something at least 3 times, 3 different preparation techniques. Just because you try it once and you didn't like it, you know, there's so many different ways to prepare things. Just don't throw it out completely until you try it a few more times.
So if people come to you and they do want to have you 100% standing right next to them, you can actually do that. You can come up with health plans for them. You can help them with their spirituality or their relationship stress, whatever it may be, job stress, or whatever is kind of affecting you. You can actually help them with that.
Exactly. It's funny, most people come to me for the food. They think it's about the food.
Right.
And a lot of times we find out there's something else going on. Usually it's the food as well, but there's something else going on in a lot of cases, especially with weight loss. That tends to be a big one. I think
people forget how much stress actually affects you. You know, for me, I can tell a huge difference when I don't sleep very well. and you've got a lot going on, and then all of a sudden you are sleeping well, and you're like, oh, I forget how it feels to actually sleep well, eat healthy, and be really feeling in your best condition.
Right, exactly. And another thing I want to mention, people think that they're going to come to me and I'm going to say, oh, you can't eat this and this and this, and you have to eat this, and it's going to be this
horrible. So no more chicken nuggets from Wendy's and McDonald's.
Exactly. And well, that's the idea, to kind of sway away from that. But it's not supposed to be this horrible, painful process to learn how to eat healthy. It's a slow process. Just like, you don't go to the gym and all of a sudden you walk out and you're buff.
Exactly.
It's a slow process. You learn to lift 5 pounds, and then it's 7, then 10, and it's an incremental thing for you to be able to.
I think that's the biggest detriment with people, though, oftentimes, and I know I'm guilty as well, because I'll say, okay, I'm going to get healthy, and for like a good solid week I eat really healthy, and then I'm just like craving the bad foods and the candy and the caramellos, which I'm addicted to right now.
The body goes into rebellion when you deprive it and you say, I'm going to do this instead of this.
You want it more.
It goes into rebellion, and absolutely.
So maybe still have that caramello, but I could eat quinoa.
Absolutely. There's a lot of tricks that you can do when you do eat something that you're not supposed to.
Right.
To kind of counteract that, and not to say that you can eat whatever you want and always counteract it. If you're constantly polluting your body, it's just like being a car. If you don't ever change your oil and maintain your car, it's going to break down over time.
Okay, let's say, honestly, I really have been on this. I'm eating a caramello like a day. I don't know what it is, but I've been craving them. So if I'm having that caramello a day, what's maybe something I can counteract with my unhealthy eating habits?
Well, one thing you can do is have a salad.
Okay.
That helps cleanse it. But anytime, I tell my clients, anytime you have sugar, refined sugar, not like an apple or banana, but refined sugar, is to follow it with protein. Protein actually helps the sugar, slows the sugar absorption in the body, and it gives it something to work with. When you have refined sugars, the body does not know what to do with it, really. It's incomplete. It's been stripped of all the nutrition and the fiber and everything the body needs to process it. So the body gets confused. It starts to steal from other areas of your body, so you can actually become malnutrition. Even though you're eating food and you can be overweight, you're actually malnutrition.
So I can eat the caramello first and then a big
protein
chicken breast afterward?
Yeah, or nuts or something like that would be better.
Don't do that. But do some sort of protein to kind of counteract things. So you can actually point out ways for people to keep their eating habits similar to what they are, but to add in healthy things, and slowly they'll get back to, probably more into the healthy stuff that they should.
Exactly. It just kind of happens naturally, progression.
Exactly. And they can pick up your book. What's your website where they can find all the information?
The website, if you go to myyouniquenutrition.com, that will redirect you to the website. YOUnique Nutrition is spelled uniquely, so if you do
Y-O-U.
Y-O-U. So you can go to YOUnique nutrition.com, or you can go to myyouniquenutrition.com, which is spelled phonetically, and you can get to the website.
Great. Well, Gina, we thank you for coming in and reminding us to stay healthy. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got weather and trivia. It's your chance to pick up some tickets to Seven Peaks Water Park. That's some wellness, right? Go out, have some fun, splash in the water.
Absolutely.
Take a little stress out of your life. Why not? It's your chance to win, though. Get your phones ready. We'll be back right after this short break.